G'day, this is Captainoob and this is the FIM-92 Stinger. This weapon in real life is used as a man-portable air defense system and is primarily used for taking out air targets, although it's worth mentioning that can take out ground targets as well, so there you go, it's a little bit more versatile than you might expect. Anyways, it comes to you in Fallout 4 in the form of a standalone, basically non-customizable weapon. The only thing you can customize is the amount of zoom that it gets. It's also a legendary effect. We'll get to that later, maybe. But yeah, many of this weapon's characteristics are reflected by vanilla means. Everybody knows that this thing locks onto its targets and fires out a big old missile, and that is reflected using the basic vanilla tracking that you'd get out of vanilla missile launches in Fallout 4, which means you can lock onto people, which, you know, for the Stinger is probably not realistic, but maybe this is like a futuristic Fallout Stinger where they figured out how to make IR tracking track heat signatures of people, because we've got body temperatures to track, right? Anyways, so there's not much customization to go over, so we'll talk about what this thing does interesting. So the modder has actually added in a nice bit of apparel for you to use, and I've got that linked up with the visible weapon system there. So when we draw this weapon, that'll actually disappear. So it's kind of like how Fallout 3 and New Vegas would have your weapons holstered on your back or on your side or whatever when you're not using them, and have them equipped. So there, that's pretty awesome. We'll take a look at the missile once we actually get off this workbench, because it's actually kind of cool. So when we draw our weapon, that thing off our back should disappear. There we go. Took a while, but it got there. Anyways, so when we fire the missile, and yeah, as you can tell, we're using the basic animations from the missile launcher, and it gets a little bit in your way, so using this in third person is probably your best option. But anyways, we'll fire the missile and have a look at it. Okay, activating the free cam there, and that's what it looks like. Awesome, awesome looking missile. I love it. Anyways, we'll go back to our normal view there, and oh, the Stinger's there. Never mind. And there you go, there's the vanilla animations, and you might have noticed how it ejects something, and yeah, it actually does, and that is actually realistic. That's what the real Stinger does. I think it's that thing in the back that it shoots out. Well, it's the same looking shape of the thing. Maybe it's supposed to follow the missile out and, you know, be thrown a little bit further than it is, but right now it's just sort of using the same sort of things you'd have an ejected shell do. So yeah, I don't think there's any way to actually get that shooting out the barrel faster, so you know, it's nice for what it is. It's nice attention to detail, but that's all we sort of got with that. So without further ado, we might as well take on Immersive Gunner's Plaza, because I feel like we've got the power for this. Also, I forgot that I did that. Immersion, right? That's a funny word. Righto, so here we are outside of Immersive Gunner's Plaza in the day for once, and that's because we probably don't even need stealth for this. So in terms of how this weapon performs, you get a little bit more damage out of this than your standard missile launcher. Oh, there's an air target to shoot. And the catch of that is there's a little bit less splash damage for you to use. So in terms of crowd control, it might be a little bit worse, but I don't think it'll mind too much. Oh, plenty of targets to shoot here. I am noticing the missile isn't traveling extremely fast like I'd expect a Stinger missile to fly, but that's okay. See, if I wanted to target an aircraft, I'd want to make a super fast shooting missile. I remember in Battlefield they could chase down jets and get those, but I'm not sure how realistic that is. Alright, so they have sort of tracked us down and found us now. We've got a tracking missile, and we'll be able to track them down back, except instead of them tracking us down, it'll just be missiles. So if you don't want to lock onto people with this, you can just hit fire it like that. So that's nice. Got no idea how this thing reloads in real life. Every time you see it reloaded in Battlefield, you'll have a it'll just your character or whatever would just you know, just roll it off screen, then pull that back and unfold it and shoot it again, which I don't know, maybe the reload process was time consuming, so they just did that for balance reasons, which I'm pretty sure they did for the SRAW too, if you remember that one in Battlefield 4. Alright, let's see how this thing does in VATS. We've stirred up the hornet's nest at this point, and it looks like we get 3 shots max out of VATS, which is, it's alright. I think we got not the one we're aiming for there, but we got another one. A little bit of collateral damage there. And there we go, there's that missile again coming in VATS. That's a complete miss. That'll probably kill nothing. Good shot, Allah. Let's get some wall hacks on this one. It'll probably go straight through something and explode, but it'll kill them anyway. It's like wall hacks, but with trees instead of walls. Also, my movement's a bit glitched out right now. I keep hitting the D key, but I'm going sideways instead. That's really bizarre. The trick is to draw all of the gunners outside of the tree so we can hit them without our missile being obstructed by anything else. Also, we got enough splash damage on that to kill the surrounding gunner with only 723 damage, so I don't really think the lack of splash damage for this weapon is a problem whatsoever. Cue the double kill quote from... Oh, hello, Mr. Ghoul. Ooh, a bit of trigger delay on this. That's not good. I want to shoot my missile off as soon as I am reloaded, thank you. This thing does use a custom ammo missile asset, so you won't be able to get all of those missiles in your missile launcher or vanilla missile launcher ammo pool to work with this, which is a little bit of a shame, you know, but whatever. Also, how you actually get this weapon is that you can either find it on gunners, sometimes the ones that spawn with missile launchers, which would be the ones up that sort of a direction. That's usually a nice guaranteed spot. Will sometimes carry this instead of missile launchers, and you also find it in Arturo's shop. You just have to wait for the game to, you know, reset the inventory. Just wait 2 days and she'll be right. And yeah, you can also create the apparel piece that goes on your back at a chemistry workbench under utility, so nothing too complicated there. Let's pick this thing open. See if we can get a sneak attack crit with a stinger. They call that the stinger. They don't let you use that no more. Looks like there's only one more foe to extinguish, and they've gotten themselves stuck in there. Oh, hang on, there's one more down here. Oh, these guys didn't even bother to show up to the main fight. Probably because I was fighting from the other side, wasn't I? That's okay. A little bit of fall damage never hurt anyone, Ella. Don't worry about it. Okay, so this gunner is sitting in this shack. It's probably the best place. I'm gonna shoot the gunner skull, and that should probably kill them. That's called symbolism, folks. The gunners are definitely dead at this point. I've killed them so many times. Righto, we'll move on to something else. Righto, let's test the might of our stinger against the might of some super mutant warlords. Basically, walking health bars. We'll go for a cheeky crit on this guy's face. I don't think it'll do too much since the base damage of this weapon is pretty low. Basically, it's controlled by the explosion of the missile, and that's what gives you the damage. That's actually quite similar to how the missile launcher works in Fallout 4's vanilla game. Most of it is actually from the explosion of the missile rather than the missile's base damage itself, which is kind of bizarre because if that's why the missile launchers seem to be a little bit weak compared to, you know, the previous entries of the Fallout games where, you know, you could probably grab a low level or low condition missile launcher and still do quite a bit of damage with it, even if you had no basic explosive skills. So yeah, that's kind of how Fallout 4 works. Ooh. Looks like we don't even have to hit these guys with criticals to kill them, which is a nice thing.
You had your time, human!
Now I'm wondering why super mutants know the history of humans and what happened. Basically that. Except with nukes, and everyone died. Okay, round 2 this time, doggo. Let's see how you can survive this one. So it goes without saying, but do exercise caution when using missile launchers indoors. You can hurt yourself pretty badly if things go wrong, as you can see. That was bad hitboxes. I blame Todd. Okay, let's try this again. This time we won't play so riskily, right? We're gonna shoot people from further back and not take it into close quarters. I feel like that's a good way to survive with this thing. Okay, now we definitely can't shoot him now that we've got him locked on. What if we go like this? This guy just doesn't care. He's a brave super mutant. I mean, what else would you be doing in that situation? You know what, he was probably just cowering in that room waiting for the inevitable Stinger missile to hit him and kill him. Also, I think the Rad Roaches try to take on a super mutant warlord. That's bravery. That's bravery almost unseen, maybe only rivaled by Internet Explorer asking you to be its default browser whenever you have the misfortune of clicking on it. We all know that Firefox is the superior browser here. Don't want any of that Google Chrome shit. Get out of here. Anyways, that was the Stinger, and a very successful run in Fallon's department store, I must say. Let's move on to some actual Stinger things, because, you know, we got to shoot down some aircraft with this for those realism immersion points. Ha, I said the funny word again, you're laughing. Okay, time to do some Stinger things with the Stinger. No, you're not seeing a super vertibird, that's like 9 vertibirds all put into one. So yeah, I've never actually experimented with spawning vertibirds to shoot down, but yeah, let's see how we go. We'll try to lock onto something. That seemed to do a little bit of damage. I'm not actually sure how dead that person is. Oh, looks like they're going down there. I think they're being staggered there. That's what happens when you stagger vertibirds. They do that sort of thing. So if you ever got a kneecap a weapon, you can just basically stun lock them into doing that. Oh yes, they are definitely coming down. Look out, they're going to explode. Or not. Looks like we're just going to have to do this way then. Now, I've been told that vertibirds have the same AI as dragons do in Skyrim, but I've never actually been able to confirm this. Oh, look at these poor vertibirds. They're targeting the super mutants instead of me. I think I'm the bigger threat here. For some reason, these vertibirds don't like turning against me. Good on them, I guess. I don't know. But at least they're not exploding, right? They're just fading into the ground and going quietly. Oh, bugger off. I've already killed enough of you today. I legit thought that panel fell off that doggo there. Also, this is the worst place to be attacking me from. I'm just going to outpath you. Ready? Watch this. Want to know how to learn this cool trick? They do, but they can't because they're AI. Okay, one last vertibird to shoot down. Hey, remember that time in Fallout 4 where you Fallout 2 where you pissed off that guy and he said he's going to dispatch a verti assault team? We'll just get Ella to stand around with a Stinger waiting for him. That'll bloody fix him up, won't it? Going down, down, Black Hawk down. I think that's the last one. I'm definitely hearing others, but they're probably like under the map right now. Just like that. Okay, let's just forget this thing ever happened and try out some legendary effects. Hello, Swan. Goodbye, Swan. And one in your face to make you grow. Okay, so I think that is about it for this weapon. I told you I might use a legendary effect, and I decided to use the never-ending legendary effect, and didn't it work great? So if you'd like to see this thing in your game, check out the link in the description. If you can find one on your platform, then you can download it, and then you can have it in your game, and then you can shoot people with a really, really cool rocket launcher. Who doesn't like a Stinger? Actually, I can answer that. I don't think Swan likes the Stinger. So yeah, I think that's about it for this video. Got something interesting coming up tomorrow. Hope you all enjoyed this, and hope you'll all enjoy that one. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, guys.